When I design a website, I look at it as an interface. An interface is the way you achieve tasks with through interaction. And so the question is, what's the task that people achieve when they use a news site? The task is to read text, to get information. So that must be the most important part from a design perspective, from a user experience perspective, to make sure that the text is as readable as possible, first of all. And what I found with a lot of my Swiss clients, but also in Germany, they don't focus so much on readability. The marketing department has a lot of power and destroys almost every article page. So it's totally against the purpose of a news site as a user interface. And and also the typography is just in a way neglected, that you ask yourself, are these really newspapers? They're supposed to be strong in typography. So that's what I mainly focus on, and readability, usability. That is the reason why these websites that we designed have performed so well. Not because they're pretty. Actually, I don't even think they're so pretty. The beauty of using these interfaces only comes alive when you use them, because then when you feel, oh, that's much easier than what I've been used to before. That feels much better, because you can perform the tasks you want to perform with that newspaper more easily. I think that's the main reason. That's why people stick with these few newspapers that we've used.
Would you like to add anything about design?
I wouldn't call myself a designer. I think what we've done, if anything, about the sort of the user experience has been trying to find out if we could create interest in the material with a set of people who maybe would never even express an interest in news material, and then reach them in a format that they would consume because it somehow was sugar-coated, if that's the right way to put it. And it was interesting how the feedback from that was, well, terrible from the newsroom to some extent, but from other people, as I said, teachers, who found that they could play it in a schoolroom and the kids would listen to the news. It was interesting. I don't know if it's nowhere the same as user experience of that Oliver works on, but it was around this thing of the presentation of the news.
I think the interesting thing about newspapers and newspaper websites is, unlike, say, Reuters, which has no sort of print equivalent, except when you're publishing a Reuters story in a newspaper, but the Times and other newspapers have this standard of readability and accessibility in print that they're always trying to match and exceed online. And for the most part, we haven't gotten there yet. Part of that's technical limitations, part of that maybe the marketing department, or the need to have different types of interactive advertising, which is still not as useful as it could be. But I think that day is coming, and where newspaper websites rival the sort of the topography, the readability, the accessibility, the serendipity of print. And that actually has a lot of profound implications for print, because once we do that online, then you could say, well, why do I really need this newspaper anymore? It's for a while now it's just been, I prefer digital, it's easier, I don't have to recycle, what have you. But once we have the devices like the iPad and other things that make it highly portable, highly customizable, then you really have to ask yourself, where's the business model? How do we take all the money we've been making in print, and how does that translate online?
Actually, the first experience I had where I felt like, oh, it's getting close, is with the iPhone.
Yeah.
When I first, had the direct interaction between my hand and my eyes, and this high resolution where I didn't need to squint or imagine how this letter is supposed to look, but it just flew automatically. And even at this small frame, that's when I felt like, oh, actually it's happening. Yeah, you guys have seen the iPad, I still haven't seen it. It's
Pretty cool.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Nick Evershed reporting for the NPA.